We are back and going to focus on how the pandemic has affected restaurants. Unfortunately, here in Park City, many restaurants have had a very negative impact from pretty much our entire small town closing down a year ago. But they're bouncing back, which is exciting. So Ryan Gromfin has some information for us. Have a great day. That's it for our show. We will see you tomorrow. Here's more about restaurants.
The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact restaurants across the country. Now, for most establishments, there is a light at the end of the tunnel to discuss how COVID has transformed the hospitality industry and how to help local pandemic-impacted restaurants thrive. Is the restaurant boss, Ryan Gromfin. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Restaurants have been particularly hit hard by the pandemic. What's the status of the industry?
So the industry is looking very strong right now as we're entering this recovery phase. We're seeing restaurants all over the country with higher numbers of in-person dining than we've had in over a year. And we're seeing that trend continue week to week. So it's really in a great place. And we have to thank all of the industry professionals out there, owners, managers, operators, employees, for the hard work they've put in to pivot as quickly as they have. You know, some restaurants over the last year have quietly reported their best years ever, but for many, they've been just completely decimated by having to close their dining rooms. So we're in a really good place right now. It's showing signs of recovery, and we're just really excited about the future.
What are owners doing to get back on their feet?
So what owners are doing right now is very similar to what they've been doing, and I think it's really important that they continue on that. You know, meeting their guests where they want to be met, making sure that, like I said, when your dining room's closed, that we're offering them different options to enjoy your food off premise. We've made pickup and to go a lot easier than ever with curbside and other options. Delivery has become really, really important to your guests. If you were able to offer delivery on your own, that's great. If not, the third-party delivery companies have really helped with that. So what we want to make sure as we move forward is that we don't ignore that we continue to offer our guests the ability to enjoy our food wherever it is that they want to enjoy it. And guests have really enjoyed that. So again, we want to make sure we're staying on top of that. But as some of your guests start eating in your dining room again for the first time in maybe a year, we want to make sure that we're creating as safe of an environment as possible for them. So by using products like Dawn Professional Pot and Pan, which is great for your restaurant, it's an incredible product that you're able to get a lot more with a lot less, but it's also a brand that your guests are really familiar with. They're using this product at home. And so when they see you using it, they know how good it is and they know how seriously you're taking their safety. We just want to make sure that we're letting our guests know that cleaning is not just an item on our checklist. It's not just something we do. It's something that we take very seriously. And that's going to go a long way in your guests that might be a little nervous now. It's remember, they haven't eaten in restaurants in a long time. So it's really exciting to be able to welcome them back.
And Ryan, what do you think is next for the hospitality industry?
I think the hospitality industry has to keep a focus on moving forward and not looking backwards. We don't want to find ourselves saying we're waiting for a return to normal. You know, there is no return to normal. Normal is always changing. So again, like I mentioned earlier, as we move forward, making sure that we're keeping that priority on meeting our guests where they want to be met, whether that be with third-party delivery or pickup or curbside. As I work with clients that are opening up new locations or maybe new concepts that are being developed right now, I think that's going to play, and it is playing, a very important role in new restaurants. So just make sure that we're not ignoring how awesome it is that your guests can enjoy your food in a way that they were never able to before. And then again, just making sure that we're being very conscious of the fact that some of your guests haven't eaten in a restaurant in a while and they're going to feel a little nervous. So just being extra hospitable, you know, extending that warm welcome and making sure that if they maybe want to move to a different table or if they're just not comfortable in a certain area of your restaurant, let's just make sure that we welcome them and make them feel as safe as possible so we can speed up this recovery.
After such a difficult year, this is really great news to hear. Where can we get more information about everything you've talked about?
Awesome. Any restaurant owners out there can go to pgpro.com where they can get some free samples as well as speak with a Procter & Gamble professional about making sure they're using the right products as safely and effectively as possible to reopen safely for their guests.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today. Important information about the restaurant industry. And again, it's been good news to hear that hopefully things are improving and that many restaurants have been able to do well as they've had to change and pivot pretty much overnight.
Absolutely.